Aye.
None opposed, the motion carries.
Item 24, under new business, FPC 20248, resolution to vote on the dismissal, demotion, licensing, or discipline of Milwaukee Police Chief Alfonso Morales.
All right, so before we entertain a motion, I will go and ask each of the commissioners if they have any statements or anything they would like to say in this regarding this item. So, Commissioner Crowther, do you have any comments or questions?
No questions, no comment.
All right, Commissioner McKenzie, do you have any comments or questions?
No, I do not.
All right, Commissioner Solar, do you have any comments or questions?
I have some comments.
Yes, sir.
I just want to tell the public and the chief that when we appointed you back on December 18, 2019, your appointment came with conditions. As part of those conditions, and I'm going to read them verbatim, I stated, because I made the motion, work with the commissioners as they are an oversight board, be accessible to the commissioners through an open door policy, work with the community to include supporters and opponents, and be transparent while working with the board. So those were the conditions of the appointment, in addition to the evaluation statistics. So it should be no surprise the fact that we have issued directives, and it should be no surprise to the fact that I personally don't feel you have worked with us as your oversight board. So I'm just saying that we're just going back to your appointment, and everything that had transpired since then is because of lack of commitment for you or from you to comply with the motion that was made, and you accepted the appointment based on those things. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Solar. Commissioner Wilson, do you have anything you would like to say?
Yes, I think I do. I guess.
Microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. The only thing that I really would like to say is there's been a lot of chatter in the media and everywhere about us issuing directives to you. And except for maybe one of them, they were all things that you said you would do in your first 100 days and beyond. There, like I said, other than one, and that's the tear gas one, you said you would do these things. And I guess I'm kind of sort of disappointed that you didn't, because you had such a wonderful story and all the other things, and to just not do what you said you wanted to do just really makes me sad.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilson. I inadvertently skipped Commissioner Cockcroft.
Oh, yeah.
I skipped Commissioner Cockcroft on accident.
I apologize.
That's okay. I concur with my colleagues here, the commissioners. They've said a lot of things I wanted to say already. My position hasn't changed since December. I'm disappointed as well.
Thank you, Commissioner Cockcroft. And Commissioner Robakowski?
Yeah, I have a couple. Just give me a minute to put my hearing aid back in. A series of events and actions have occurred under the leadership of Alfonso Morales that are intolerable from any leader who holds a position of trust, especially someone who's tasked with leading the Milwaukee Police Department. His conduct is unbecoming, filled with ethical lapses and flawed decisions, making it inconsistent with someone who has the privilege of leading the Milwaukee Police Department. He has intentionally misled the public at numerous press conferences, YouTube videos, and press releases in the past 2 weeks. He has done communications that are of narrative that are false, with false statements, victimizing the FPC Commission, the Executive Director, the FPC staff, and the public. Just like the public, Mr. Morales intentionally lied to me several times when I challenged him on things he told me. He made me believe that he was telling me and my fellow commissioners the truth, and I know definitely he was not. He lied to my face about the hiring and firing practices, his hiring and firing practices. He lied to me about his commitment to public safety of the men and women of the Milwaukee Police Department during the COVID-19 epidemic. He called the outbreak at District Number 5 of 30-plus officers a small outbreak. He refused on several occasions to provide a plan to the Commission on his COVID-19 action. He told us on July 30th, 2020, at an FPC meeting via his assistant chief, that the MPD spent $43,000 in cleaning at the academy after an outbreak of 12 recruits had been found. What the chief and his command staff failed to tell the Commission and the public was that the money was provided by the federal government. He repeatedly lied to me and the Commission about his involvement in the videotape leak. He stood in a church in early January and told the public, which I attended, that he was going to look into it. And it never happened. And it didn't happen, or didn't start to happen, till July 6th of 2020. As a new commissioner, if I had known back in December of 2019 what I know now, I would have never seconded the meeting for his reappointment to be taken up, and I would have never cast my vote in support. Mr. Morales has failed the men and women of the Milwaukee Police Department, the people of the city of Milwaukee, and he has misled me, and none of this is acceptable. And with that, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to demote Alfonso Morales to the rank of captain, his original rank before becoming chief, immediately.
All right, now I will entertain that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Solar. I will now take a roll call vote. Commissioner Cockcroft.
Aye.
Commissioner Crother.
Aye.
Commissioner McKenzie.
Aye.
Commissioner Robakowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Solar.
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. The chief, effective immediately, is revoted or demoted to the rank of captain. Do we have to take a vote on his interim? Well, now I will entertain a motion to who will be acting chief in place of Chief Morales. Is there a motion on that front?
I move for Assistant Chief Brunson.
All right, so Assistant Chief Brunson.
And just as an aside, as a discussion, I assume that it would have been by default Brunson, but
Right.
if there needs to be a motion, then I so move.
And because we're not clear, we think it's by default Chief Brunson, but to clarify the record, we're going to take this action. And it's seconded by Commissioner Cockcroft. I will now take the roll call vote.
Can that motion be clarified to state that it will be acting chief?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. Well, will you accept that friendly amendment?
I would like to accept that amendment.
Thank you. So, yes, now it's been moved and seconded, and now we're open for discussion. Commissioner Cockcroft?
As far as discussion, as far as the command staff is concerned, will the acting chief have the same privileges as being the chief?
As far as being able to name his own staff?
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
So we will need to also, I would suggest that we have Acting Chief Brunson, if the motion goes through, prepare and submit his command staff or his team that he would like to submit to the commission. We'll have to have a special meeting within the next 2 weeks in order to look at it and approve it.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
2 weeks. What's 2 weeks? Is there going to be any form of DNC or anything? If it is, we may need to step that up a week. When is it? What is it? When is it? It's not going to be one? Oh, well, we ain't got to worry about that. Let's move on. They ain't coming, y'all.
All right, so can I make the friendly amendment that we would do this, but have Acting Chief Brunson submit his command staff structure within the next 2 weeks?
I'll accept that amendment too.
Thank you.
Does he know that?
We're about to find out, I guess. So with that being said, are there any more further discussion?
Can the motion be repeated completely?
Sure. So the motion is to appoint as acting chief, current assistant chief Michael Brunson, and that he would have the ability to name his command staff, but that he would have to submit his command staff personnel within the next 2 weeks.
Did we vote on that?
No, that's the motion on the floor now with all the amendments. Yep. So it's been moved and seconded already?
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm going to take the roll call vote. Commissioner Cockcroft?
Aye.
Commissioner Cruther?
Aye.
Commissioner McKenzie?
Aye.
Commissioner Robakowski?
Aye.
Commissioner Solar?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So Assistant Chief Brunson will be the acting chief, and he will have to provide us with his command staff structure within the next 2 weeks. So now we move on to the next item.
Item 25, under new business, FPC 20242, resolution to vote on the 2020-2021 Fire and Police Commission